it's Mrs. Holcomb from the PLD Library, and today I want to show you how to make an ocean in a bottle. This activity is inspired by the book Ocean, Waves for All by Stacy McAnulty, illustrated by David Litchfield, and I especially love this picture here. This is our inspiration for the ocean layers. So we're going to make a bottle with all of those layers. And I have a really nice big bottle here, nice clear smooth sides, but you could really use any bottle. You can use a mason jar or just a water bottle, whatever you have around. You're just going to vary the amount of liquid you put in it depending on the size of your bottle. So I'm going to start with the bottom layer of the ocean, the trenches. And for the trenches, I'm using corn syrup. And I put a little bit of black food coloring in there. It actually kind of looks a little purple when I put it there. So if you don't have black food coloring, you could just use a deep dark purple. Just keep mixing your red and blue until you got a dark color. And like I said, this is just corn syrup, just from Target, the grocery store, or wherever, but it's a clear corn syrup. And then I just added the food coloring. So I'm gonna pour that into my bottle, just nice and slow. And since I have 5 layers, I wanna kind of take up about 1/5 of the bottle. And so I know from the size of my bottle, that's about 3/4 of a cup that I kind of measured out into these little cups. Okay, so there is the trenches part of the ocean. Then the next layer is the abyss. So for the abyss, I am using, all it is just liquid dish soap. And I'm using a blue color. I'm using Dawn, which actually has just a regular blue color, and then they also have this platinum version, which is a little more purpley. You could use either of those, or this is, I think, is a bit of a mix of the two of them. But either way, you just want it to be lighter than your bottom, your trenches. So now I'm just gonna pour in the dish soap, and it's just straight dish soap. I haven't added any water or anything else to it. Okay, and so this is all about density. Okay, so the corn syrup is thicker, it's more dense than the dish soap. So it's gonna stay on the bottom, and that's what we're gonna be doing all the way through here. We're going to be layering based on the density of the materials we're using. So then our next one is just water that I added some food coloring to. So I just added regular blue food coloring. I made it a little bit of a deeper blue, but still lighter than the abyss layer. This is gonna be the midnight zone. So now I pour my water in. And it's okay, it's gonna bubble a little because of the layer below it. And it's okay if they mix a little bit, because obviously in the ocean they're a little bit mixed too. So they will settle out there. You'll see a deeper purple here and a little lighter blue there. So our next layer is the Twilight Zone, which is kind of greenish blue. We're actually gonna be using though just oil for that layer, and it's gonna kind of take on the food colorings or the tint of the other ones just based on the light. So you don't have to add food coloring to this. If you did want to add some green food coloring, you would have to use an oil-based food coloring. It cannot be water-based or they're not going to mix. I'm not going to use any food coloring at all. I'm just going to pour in my oil, and it's just going to lighten up my bottle. So you see it still looks a little blue there. It's looking a little sparkly now that I've added the oil in. And then our top layer is the layer that we see is our sunlight zone. And that's where the sun is shining. So it looks a bit lighter, and it's gonna look really nice and with this lighter color in here that kind of took on that green tone. Oops. And this is actually alcohol. So this is rubbing alcohol with just a lighter blue food coloring in it. So this is just rubbing alcohol you can get again at the pharmacy or at Target, Walmart, grocery store, anywhere like that. And now I put in that layer as well. And now I have all the different layers of the ocean in a bottle, which I'm gonna seal shut. I do recommend, if you don't want anyone getting into this, you don't want any spills, either hot gluing it or using a super strong glue in there to keep it shut. But there you would see all of the layers of the ocean, and it's really cool.